Wow, is this number 9?
I think this is our
ninth one.
It's number 9.
It's number 9. Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm Kieth.
Dennis.
And Dennis is joining us today. And Dennis will tell us all about his association with beer in a minute. But I wanted to tell you, we posted our first Friends Drinking Beer on December 30th, which means at the end of this month, June, it'll be 6 months.
6 months?
6
We're
months.
on episode 9. We're doing pretty well.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well. So, thank you, everybody.
Yay.
And
thank you,
like and
followers.
Subscribe.
Thank you, followers.
Alrighty, I'm going to open the beer, and you are going to talk to Dennis about why Dennis is here. Mostly because you're just a cool guy, I'm sure, and fun to be around.
Yeah, all right, he is all of those things. Yes, he is all of those things and more. And a really good stick playing golf, so we have that. And so Dennis used to live down in Medford area and was the mastermind behind Opposition Brewing. So he's not just some rando. He is our subject matter expert. And I'm not just saying that like, I'm just going to find somebody who knows a little bit about beer. Like, I loved everything that he put out. And so the bonus is now he lives up here, and even though he's not brewing, like he still knows his stuff.
I haven't forgotten.
That's right. He's still got he's still got the gift.
I haven't consumed enough beer to start losing some knowledge.
Not quite yet.
Right.
Okay.
So when Dennis speaks about beer, I'm like this. I'm listening because he knows his stuff, and I've tasted it, and it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And the first beer that you brought us, and I always want to know, do you pronounce it Crux or Crew?
It's Crux.
Crux. So this is Crux Pilz. It's a fermentation project, 5.2% alcohol, and Crux is in Bend. So yet again, another lovely Oregon beer. A New World Pilsner brewed with I cannot speak. Traditional Pilsner malts, imported Czech saws, and local Oregon Sterling hops. Biscuity flavors. I have an opinion on that. Spicy herbal notes and a hint of lemon. Okay, so there you go, everybody.
Is Crux the one that has like the huge patio? I mean, they don't have patios, but it has like the huge patio. It's like probably
like a grassy area,
right?
Like a grassy area.
Yeah, and they have good food trucks and stuff like most of them have. But like that one has like a huge there's like. It seems like there's 12 fire pits.
It used to be an AMCO.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you look at. You're like
nice.
why do you have all the space? I mean, it's great, but...
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can smell the...
Cheers.
Cheers. I can smell the lemony. So.
Mm-hmm. I like this beer. It's like a go-to in my house for just finding a good beer from a quality maker that's easy to drink.
Yeah, it's super light but tasty. Okay. So here's my pin that I put in on the word biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
So biscuit in America means kind of like a cracker, maybe buttery, But in Europe, a biscuit is a cookie, what Americans call a cookie, and cookies have all kinds of flavors. So,
yeah.
So what type of cookie or biscuit are we?
I don't get biscuits, so I've always wondered about that one.
I mean, I like biscuits, but I mean, I smell the citrusy or the lemon, and I like all things lemon anyway.
Oh my gosh,
and that's the hops,
and that's So it's tasty. This is,
I think it's the esters from the yeast that we're tasting that gives it that. I mean, it's really got for a light beer. It's got a really nice finish to it.
It does. So this is,
there's flavor behind it.
Right.
It just doesn't finish. It doesn't finish flat like water.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like when we go with the little lighter ones, like the Pilsners or actually the Pilsners, we say like, oh, this is a good like lawnmower beer. But I'm like, this I would not put in that category, even though it's fairly light, because this is a lot better than any lawnmower beer.
Yeah.
I agree. It's in comparison to we did the Mexican style lagers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and those had all different flavors. This would fit right in with them in terms of if we line them all up, they all have. You could tell the difference between all four, but this one definitely has somewhat more oomph to those that we tasted. Although all those were so good.
They were good.
Have we tasted a bad beer? Have we tasted one that well, I don't think we ever will because we choose our beer.
We've had beer that we were like, meh, didn't wow us.
Shockingly
So
not what we
put the
expected.
ice cream in. None of you were very hot on that one.
No,
and then you put the ice cream in it. Then you put the ice cream in it, and you're all happy about it.
No, the ice cream one is my house beer. And now every time we go to California, we buy it all up because now everybody else wants to drink
loves it. It's delirium. But I
was talking about the
you're
death
right.
and taxes.
Yeah, death and taxes.
You must
The other one
because that was the darker one, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That was really.
That was the same.
But I mean, you could drink it without the ice cream on it, just like the beer float just made it better. But yeah,
that is true. That was one that didn't really wow us. You're correct.
Yeah, so the ice cream did make it better.
Ice cream
because you were drinking sweet beers, and you're like, yeah, it's not sweet.
Right. Yeah, it was the wrong beer to be in that lineup. But ice cream made it better. It proved our point.
That's true.
That you can put ice cream in anything.
This is and Crux is a solid. I think is a solid brewery. So
they definitely do some different stuff there. You're not going to love every beer they have. You're just not.
Right.
But it's always interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in any brewery that tries to make beer for the masses, you're going to end up with something either tasteless or because you can't.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have ones that people are going to like more than other people, and that's why you keep doing it, right? You find those.
Yeah, and
I didn't even like all the beers I made. You know what I mean? I made them because there was people who liked to drink them.
Right.
But I wasn't super like a dirty hippie. A lot of people like that beer, but I didn't.
You're like, I wouldn't drink this.
It was made with a bunch of acidulated malt to give it that like fake sour taste.
What's acidulated mean?
They like, I think they get lactobacillic acid, lactobacillus to propagate on the grain.
Okay.
They spray it with the grain with it. I'm not sure exactly the process, but it's supposed to. It helps in some breweries to balance out their water, like Wild River. That's why all their beers have that distinct flavor because the water, the well that they're on, it's really got a lot of like calcium or whatever's in the water, and to balance it out, they put the acidulated malt in it.
Interesting.
So did that make Dirty Hippie a little bit more sour, or just a different sour?
I don't know. It just doesn't. It's fake. It's a fake sour. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like artificial flavored, gummies or whatever.
Right.
It's just it's artificial. I like sours. I'd rather make the Berliner Weiss and have a real sour.
Okay.
Than a fakey one.
But you just did that. Turned out people like to drink it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we made it a lot.
Okay. Well, that's give the people what they want.
Well, that is what you're supposed to do. Give them what they want.
Yeah, I can understand that in terms of.
No, but I mean, I believe like Bend, kind of like Eugene, is like a beer mecca, and like you said, Dennis, everybody's not going to like every single beer from a brewer, but if you don't like that one, you're going to go to another brewery that you do like more. Like I've run into people who, like they'll think, oh, Cold Fire's okay, and then they go to Oakshire, they're like, oh, I love all of them. I'm like, okay, and then vice versa. So kind of like Bend is like that. People are like, oh, Crux is hit and miss, but then they go to like, what is it? The new
10 Barrel.
10 Barrel. That's a big one.
10 Barrel, and then what? Who does the sweet as? Is that?
It's Good Life.
Good Life. I could picture a little Good Life. Good Life, and then like that.
Yeah.
The year that we decided to open up the brewery, we went to Zoicomania in Bend. And Good Life had just opened their doors, and they had like 2 beers on tap. That's all they had left, or that's all they had ready for the event. And one of them was stout, and it was like so smoky. It was like
there's such thing as too much.
It was too. Yeah, it was too much. Too much dark malts, and I was like, man, I hope the rest of their beer turns out better than this. And they're not going to make it because it was a 20,000 square foot facility. And
right,
it's huge. Around going, oh my God, where's all the money?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Anyway, but I love their beer. I get sweet as all the time.
I like it too.
It's a regular one at golf courses, and for some reason, I'm like, that's a go-to beer when I'm golfing.
Right. And when I go to Bend, I always want to stop by Good Life.
Oh yeah,
you can do all the breweries.
Yeah.
But like I always want to stop by Good Life. Just like, what are you guys doing now?
Well, okay, so This podcast will go out before June 12th. So let me get rid of that's our security camera. Is June 12th a Tuesday or is June 11th a Tuesday? Oh dear, I'll have to go check my calendar. Anyway, the Tuesday of June 11th or June 12th, 2024. I think it's the 11th. I think you're correct. We thought it was the 12th, and it turns out
the 4th, so 7 days.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, and it's the 11th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you are in Bend and you go to Bevel Brewery, which is owned by our friends Nate and Val, there will be an event going on, and the event is associated with Disc Golf Strokes, which is the fundraiser for You Play Disc Golf that Friends Drinking Beer supports. So if you're in Bend Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, and you want to go support You Play, which is a disc golf nonprofit, go ahead and go to Bevel and learn all about it. And we will put the link in and to all the fundraiser events that are occurring for Disc Golf Strokes for You. Through Disc Golf Strokes for You Play.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. And and Bevel, if you've ever been to Bevel Brewery, you know they have disc golf baskets in the backyard and in the parking lot because both Nate and Val are award-winning disc golf players. So that's where the association comes from.
I don't think I've ever been to Bevel. Yeah, now that you describe it, I'm like, I don't think I've been there.
No, Nate, Nate fulfilled his lifetime dream of brewing beer, so that's what he does at Bevel.
Next time I go to Bend, I'm going to go to Bevel.
Go to Bevel.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I have good stuff, Bevel. Mm-hmm. We're coming.
Nate does, he doesn't age anything. So nothing goes into barrels, so it's all his beers are very fresh.
Okay.
And so that's his.
So Dennis,
and then
that
he
would
comes
mean
over
everything would be a lager, a pilsner, and what else?
He can ales.
Ales, lots
of
ales.
Ale that doesn't age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
The ales we were making were like 12-day turnaround.
Okay.
From brew day to serve day.
Excuse me while I go.
What was that popular brown that?
Fallow Fields.
Fallow Fields. I always had. I would try all his stuff, but Fallow Fields was this rock solid brown.
I like browns. Browns and reds are really. I'm always a fan. I'll try any brown or any red that's on the.
The red. After the red came out, a lot of people shifted from the brown to the red.
Yeah. For a while, it got to be hard to find a brown, and I like browns.
Mm-hmm.
You pull out
I remember I went to the Bend Brew Festival, and there were like 216 beers available, and I think 4 of them were stouts.
What?
And the rest were like IPAs. It was just ridiculous. It was the biggest IPA presentation I've ever seen.
What? Yeah. So what was that one that we were having at the Beer Stein that like they ran out of? That's how good it was the last time we were at the Beer Stein.
Oh, it was that cherry. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
It was something like it wasn't pesh because I did peach, but it was something like
it was cherry flavored.
Some funky thing, but we all liked it, and they're just like, yeah, we're at the end of the keg.
Yeah, they blew the keg on us because we kept buying it.
So I went, and she goes, oh, but we have them in the cooler. I'm like, where? And like our last 2, I go, I'm getting them. So I actually thought about bringing that, but we've been doing so many reds. You think like, oh, these guys only just, if it looks red or it is red. So I'm like, so we went a different way.
Okay. Next beer, one of my favorite breweries. They're out of San Diego. It's called Modern Times. This beer is Symmetric Orchestra. It's a funky oaked sour. It is... Oh my gosh. Yes, maybe you can explain all this to us. 3 SRM, pale straw, 8.3 total acidity, 1.004 final gravity.
Okay.
I was told there'd be no math.
So I like the final gravity of 1.004. That means it's a dry beer.
Okay, so we like dry.
I like dry beers. All of our, dry versus sugary. You know, like
Oh, yum! Modern Times has never let me down. Okay, so what would a sugary beer final gravity be?
10, 20.
Oh, wow! So this is way dry.
When you said dry, I was thinking like like a dry champagne. I mean, this is, if you didn't tell me that, I just like, it's just a good. It's not like overpowering sour though.
Yeah,
it's like a light sour.
And then the
almost seems like farmhouse.
3
SRM
is
pale straw.
that's a color description, but I don't know what the SRN of the 3 is.
Okay. 8.3 total acidity.
There's, some people use Play-Doh instead of gravity, so it's like
Stop making stuff up.
Whatever scale there. Whatever.
Tell us what your beer means.
And I have no idea what. Okay, acidity 8.3. I don't even know how they measure that.
Go on. Okay.
How many tums you need to take?
You're right.
That's it.
This beer.
It is a 2.3 tums.
Okay.
Yeah, right. We didn't do any testing on the beer after it was made, other than gravity to figure out what the alcohol content was. So,
Okay.
Right.
I don't know how our beers, stacked up for stuff like that.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm going to give you ABV.
But there is a color guide that goes from pale straw as one of the colors all the way up to the dark beers. Where you can't see through them at all.
7.4% by volume. So that's the alcohol. Okay.
You wouldn't think it because it's.
Yeah. It looks very light.
It reminds me of a farmhouse style.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's what they say. Symmetric Orchestra is an otherworldly sour beer fermented with over a dozen strains of Brettanomyces or whatever the heck, and aged on oak, because you can tell what it is.
They just call it Brett.
Brett. Fantastic. After a careful...
Brettanomyces.
Brettanomyces. I will figure that out someday. After careful kettle souring, this beer mingles with a veritable United Nations of funky cultures and wood with sufficient radness, that's a young person's word, has been achieved. The resulting beer is sour, deeply funky, and resoundingly delicious with a quenching fruitiness and lingering oaky finish. It's a psychedelic marmalade train in beer form. Drink it and be excellent to each other. Okay. Well, Modern Times. So there we go.
There's a lot
Sounds
of
diverse.
There's a lot of wordsmithing going on there.
I know. It's like,
but it is. I like. It does have a funkiness. It does. When normally what I associate funkiness with is a kind of a cheesy blue cheese flavor, but
I attribute funkiness to like the smell.
Yeah, it is.
Like some beers you smell like the fermentation still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But boy, oh boy, does it have some interesting flavor.
I like it.
I really like it. Like I said, Modern Times rarely. Sometimes they do. Modern Times goes out and about. Boy,
Did you say San Diego or
San Diego?
San Diego.
Yeah, they have 2 bars in San Diego that I know of, and they do ship all over California. But they're pretty fast. They don't. They have some, quote, staples, but normally you won't find those staples in a store. You'll find something like this.
Beer Works. Not Beer Works, Beer Stein. You find it there?
This one I found down in California at Liquor Barn. And they always carry Modern Times, but every time I go in there, it's something different. Because Modern Times does... I don't know what their production schedule is like, but they put out... And I know they do have some of their summer sours that they'll redo, but very rarely that I know of do they redo or do they keep making the same beer.
Well, San Diego is supposed to now be one of the hottest craft beer meccas, kind of like Boulder, Colorado, kind of like us here in Oregon. So I haven't been down there enough years before craft beer got big down there. But I think we should do a road trip. No. Preferably when the weather's shitty here, let's go to San Diego.
There's a direct flight.
I know.
Oh no.
That's what I meant when I said road trip. I'm not driving there.
We're getting big now. We can get on a plane and go somewhere.
That's right.
It's a long drive to San Diego from here.
Oh, trust me, we know.
Yeah, I'd be letting the bus do it or fly. But we need to go to San Diego and see what all the hype is.
Yeah. Well, there's modern times. It's definitely fun. Although I have to tell you, I'm a bit of a, I don't know what adjective to use to describe me. I like to eat when I drink. The only time I'm drinking and not eating is when we do this because I don't want to be crunching on the audio. But
your food centered.
Modern Times does not serve food.
What do they?
They don't.
Food trucks?
Nope. No. So that to me that is a bit of a ding.
They better allow you to bring food there because
I need to. They'll have potato chips or something, but that doesn't work for me. I would like to. Knock on some cheese.
See, I think you guys are smug now because it's just the thing where people get crappier. You either have to serve food or have food trucks because if people are eating, they're going to stay there longer and drink your beer. But if you're like, we don't need food, you're just going to come here for the beer, people will bail.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless you can bring in food.
Well, I won't even go.
See?
So that's
See what you did?
Yeah, I know. That's terrible. So I buy my Modern Times in the grocery store so I can bring it home and drink it and eat it with some food. Because I'm terrible. Well, I don't think I'm terrible. I think that's what I want to do. I don't drink to drink. I drink to enjoy, and food is part of the enjoyment.
Yeah, and you know what most people don't enjoy? Starvation. They don't. So you need to feed people.
I wouldn't know.
I know. Starvation
I've never been starving.
Right.
So far.
That's right. Yeah. It's like, you ever go without food? No. You ever go without oxygen? No. Try it. Because that's what happens to people who say we're not going to have food, we're not going to eat. Don't starve people. It's hangry. It's a thing.
Yeah. I know. Every once in a while, tell my husband, honey, go eat something, please. We can't have this conversation.
People get all pissed. Why is this floor on the floor? The shit. You made commercials like, you need to have a Snickers.
There's a floor on the floor.
Some people just get irate. What's with all the breathing? What's going on in this room?
People stop it. Oh my God, yes, and people should eat. So, and I pulled out more different barware. So these, of course, are my Oregon Love glasses, and that's from Dad's house. So if you are offended by drinking out of a Green Bay Packers glass, I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
Yeah.
My relatives from Chicago understand because they like beer.
It's all good. All good. Yep. So I've been finding more. I have so much.
I've rooted for the Packers before.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing somebody you hated, like the Cowboys. I guess it. Yeah. Oh, beat the Cowboys.
I married into a San Francisco 49er family. So whenever it got a little tense a couple of times. So it's all good though.
That reminds me of a story. So San Francisco Fires. I mean, most teams and people hate the Cowboys outside of everybody outside Texas, but
that's his opinion.
This was the.
Please do not sue me because of his opinion.
People say, I hate the Cowboys. That's how people bond. But it was the later years when Joe Montana had left and Steve Young had taken over. But then Steve Young and that offense and Jerry Rice is like just breaking all the records. And, everybody got excited, even the regular season when the 49ers would play the Cowboys. And Steve Young, people forget this, he was a great quarterback, but he also ran the ball quite a bit. And he had this they got close, and he ran it in. And for most times, okay, even though you just scored, they'll get a little cheap shot on you. Well, somebody got a little cheap shot on Steve Young. He had scored, so he's all excited. He's getting excited like that. But everybody's sort of like, you can't hit the quarterback like that. And you see a bunch of Cowboys, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you see this little red blur just jet in and start pushing and swinging. And it was one of those things okay, this is where, football players are going to push around like that. And all of a sudden, you see these gigantic linemen and defensive players. All of a sudden, you see everybody that's Cowboys start doing this and back up. And then once the camera slows down, you see the person that's swinging is Jerry Rice. And you realize, nobody wants to go down in history. Were you the one that punched a legend? Sir, get out of my bar. In fact, get out of town. I say get out of town because your car's been stripped. But you realize that, somebody's pushing, oh, shit, don't don't punch, don't push, don't do anything because it's Jerry Rice. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, well, this guy just start some shit.
Why didn't they just not punch Steve?
I know, because they're Cowboys. That's how they roll.
Oh, no.
But I just thought
the hate mail I'm going to get for this.
No, I just thought that was funny. You feel like, oh, here's going to be like, until the refs bring up like nobody wanted to touch Jerry Rice. They're like, nope, that's not how I'm ending my career. That's not the notoriety I want. That's just like I got into a fight. Or I pushed an 80-year-old woman on a walker down the stairs. People are not going to cheer you on.
Yeah, it's not. They're not
going
to highlight anybody wants to be a part of every year for the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Be in the blooper reel for the next.
You get cheers, you get stares. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. For those of you that are wondering, we've flipped the camera around because this is the bar.
This is the bar.
So
Dennis, check out this bar. As you can tell, Brent loves tequila.
Yeah. So
I see that.
He has every kind of different tequila and tequila apparatus and
not every, but the ones
it's
he
a
likes.
lot. It's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot.
I come here and I feel like it's like a museum of tequila.
It's an active museum because it gets a lot of it gets consumed.
Yeah. And this poor guy, he can't drink beer. He has to do cider.
He's allergic.
He's allergic to it. So imagine that personal hell.
I know.
I can't imagine how it would be. It's like somebody told me, like, hey, we've discovered that you're allergic to chocolate and shellfish. Well, saddle up, give me the EpiPens, because I'm not going to go through life without chocolate or shellfish or beer.
I don't know. It's pretty bad on the shellfish.
Oh. Yeah.
Not for me, but just from what I've seen.
Really?
Yeah, some people get really sick.
Well, no, I mean,
like their skin gets all
splotchy, and they start doing a little.
Oh, yeah. Well, the sickness stuff is just insane.
So you have to ask them, you get a fish and clam chowder?
The EpiPen isn't necessarily going to help that.
No, because it's more...
You can't just keep on cramming the shrimp in, man.
That's true.
I took the
EpiPen. Okay, so many, many years ago, I bought tickets to an event at San Francisco Beer Week. And for a while... I'm sure it still is, but at that time, San Francisco Beer Week was just insane. There were 55, 60 events going on. So I bought tickets to the Modern Times because I love them, and they were hosting an event at a local bar. So me, being the smart person that I am, bought 2 tickets, one for me, one for my husband, so that he could drive me home. So they weren't cheap, but they were like, okay, it's a one-time deal to, meet with the brewers and hang out. So we get to the bar. Turns out it's a downstairs private room. The Modern Times people have all these beers lined up. They've got a table. There's only, I would say, maybe 20, 25 people total.
That sounds like
at
a
this
VIP.
Event. Oh yeah, so it was pretty small, and
spending.
Everybody was sitting at this one long table, so it may even have been less than 20. Well, the brewer, they brought some one-off beers that you can't buy, and this, some very special stuff. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to a beer tasting, which means tasters.
Yeah,
2
several.
ounces.
Yeah.
No. Full pint.
Oh.
They poured a full pint of everything that they were serving that
like
night.
You got shitty.
Well, about halfway through the event, the marketing guy found out because he saw me switch my pint glass for my husband's pint glass and start drinking his. And he looks at me and says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "My husband's allergic to beer.
I'm saving lives."
And I'm drinking for 2 here.
That's right. Saving lives. What are you doing?
He stops the whole event.
No.
Yes. He says, "I have an announcement to make." And everybody, quiets down because they think that he's going to be talking about the beer or doing whatever. And he says, "None of you have what she has. She's drinking double what you guys are drinking."
Nobody likes
and
to
she's
snitch.
still standing.
Oh, so he's bragging. Okay, that's different.
Yeah,
if he was snitch on you, what the hell?
No, he wasn't bragging. He was saying,
Don't announce it, Fredo. Come on.
So, yeah, it was pretty funny. I did walk out of there
You stumbled.
A little bit beyond buzzed. Just a little
Yeah.
bit. But oh boy.
That sounds like a VIP
I was drinking
sort of thing.
that.
Like,
It
yeah,
totally
just
was.
drink it. Well, who does that for tasters, though, gives you full pints?
I know. Who knew?
That's like somebody who wants to get you
I mean,
wrecked.
you would think at least half a pint, but no, they pulled it.
Yeah, we did half pints, like our dinner pairing things for Beer Week that we'd do at Braden's place there.
Mm-hmm.
We do half pints.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you want to serve
always-
6 or
there's
7
always
or
some
something.
Because multiple beers with the different pairings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's nice. But anyway, I had no idea that when I walked in that that's what I was going to be. Because, Brent, we've done this a lot where, he'll get the beer as well, and then we'll swap after I finish. And so, then he's my designated driver, so I'm all good.
So it works. You get extra beer. You can stay sober.
I
so you
know.
don't
And
have
guess what? I am so old now. I don't care anymore. If my liver goes to shit, well, my liver is fine now, so is it going to take... If my liver goes to shit in 20, 25 years, I'm fine. I'm down. It's all good.
You did get the VIP, so suddenly it was worth the price.
It totally was. It was so funny. And everybody's just kind of looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I can't let
Having
good beer
more.
go to waste.
It's good.
I have to. Right?
Yeah,
I got to drink it. I'm sorry.
Beer,
No, I'm not. Sorry,
beer
not sorry.
abuse if you don't drink it.
As the kids say nowadays.
And saving lives.
I know.
It's what killed somebody.
If you
It's
pour
killed
enough
somebody.
beers, you see a lot of people waste their beer, so you get over it.
Right. Because
You know
like,
what I
oh,
mean?
it tastes.
They come in and they slam it, and there's this much left in their beer. They put it down, and they walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that they didn't like it. It's just, they were stopping by for a quick one before they went home or whatever
Right.
the story was, and they didn't feel like they needed the last sip.
No one likes a quitter, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, speaking of which, I need to finish drinking my beer because you guys are
Well,
bad.
that wasn't a hint, but waiting on you.
But yeah, that's how much I like good times. Modern times, I'm so sorry.
Modern
Good
Modern-
times.
Good
modern
times, modern times.
Many beer breweries with the word times in it, so get confused. So what's your favorite beer in all the world? Which is a dumb question because the answer is all of them, I know, but still. Have there been some notables?
Mm-hmm. Some beers we made.
Nice.
Yeah, we made some Imperials that were pretty good. I like Manicorn, I think, the best.
Did you ever have that?
It sounds familiar. What was it?
Manicorn is a manatee and a unicorn combined, which might look something like a narwhal. And so
That's
the
what I
beer-
pictured.
The beer might be something like
a
narwhal from,
like a unicorn? I
yeah,
don't
from
know.
North Coast.
But what made it special? Like the flavor?
Oh, it's just we got the recipe, I think, online.
Really? Yeah. Like, let's see if this works.
And then just made it ours. You know what I mean? With our hops and
Yeah.
our ingredients and everything. It just was delicious. It went down so smooth, and it was like 9.5% alcohol. It just
Whoa.
oh yeah.
Don't start drinking that.
There was more than one occasion where the tastings happened, and we woke up 2 nights in a row in our clothing.
Yeah, like, what do you think, man? That was great.
Woke up in my clothes like 3 a.m. on the couch. And I'm like, oh crap!
What happened?
Apparently that was a really good beer.
Stumbled off the bed. The next day, I did the same thing. I woke up in my bed in my clothes. At least.
So progress.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy.
It
Oh,
was,
my
it was
God.
really good.
That's fantastic.
It just went down so easy for a big beer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what's nice
It's
sometimes
dangerous.
when you get a really good, it's so, that Block 15 raspberry one that we drank last time on episode 8. Oh, wow. I could have had that beer all night long. That was such a good beer. And same thing. It's so flavorful. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh shit, it's...
Well, I always like it when you have where you're just focusing on the flavor, like, oh, this is a good beer, and you see it like, oh, I didn't realize the ABV was that high, because that's why there's some people who don't like barley wines because it tastes boozy,
Right.
and they can get so boozy that people will say it's like heavy, and so when you hear me saying like, oh, it's a big beer, I should say high ABV because that's what I mean by big. And then, not that it's like bold, but like it's big. There's some people like, no, it's too boozy. I know people who won't, my brother, who won't,
Hi,
like,
Ken!
who won't drink over like 8%. Even in his home, he's not even going anywhere. He could literally go up the stairs.
Oh, I have plenty of...
Yeah.
I have
So
plenty
like,
of... Yeah.
if it's good, drink it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not driving anywhere.
Well, no, those you have to plan for that, or at least I do. I open it up at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sipping on it all evening. It's great, but that's the only way.
See, that's when you have the food or the small bites ready.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Just have it ready.
I'm ready
If
to
you crack
go.
your first beer at noon, you probably should have some food.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
Once
good
again,
advice.
don't starve.
Don't starve.
Nail on this.
Oh, I could have done it.
That's all good.
And then there's people who like skip breakfast. Most important meal of the day.
I don't eat breakfast.
No, I don't either. I don't eat breakfast until
I haven't eaten
11.
breakfast I eat it once in a while.
Ooh, I like the
Some-
color
I
on
do
this
too.
one.
Somebody making pancakes, but I don't have breakfast on a daily basis.
How about breakfast
Coffee
for dinner?
with a shit ton of
absolutely.
sugar and
See,
and
breakfast
There's
for dinner.
nothing like an egg sandwich on a English muffin.
Right.
Uh,
So technically, you don't hate breakfast. You
No,
just
no,
don't
I
No, he
eating-
just
you don't
doesn't
like
eat
eating
it.
in the morning.
He never said he disliked
Yeah,
breakfast.
most of the
Just
time my
doesn't do
stomach
breakfast.
just does not want food that early.
And I ran
Just doesn't.
50 half marathons and I never ate before a single one of them because I just couldn't do it. All right, here we go. Block 15 Illuminated Belgian style triple. Brewed with respect for tradition, a dynamic array of imported grains, select hops, and classic Belgian yeast illuminates this crisp Abbey ale with notes of pear, baking spice. We're going to take note of that. And a rich honey-like finish. 8.9%. All right. Well, the Block 15 beer that we had on the last episode was so good. So let's try this one. Okay. Cheers. I love the color already.
I do too. It's pretty.
It's really nice.
It reminds me of apricots.
Yeah, it's a very pretty orangey.
You can smell the
It's got a very
the
nice smell.
maltiness.
Yeah. Who brought this one?
I did
Keith
when I
did.
did my
Nice.
group camping. My buddy Todd said, "Hey, you got to try this," because he knows I love Belgians. And
Wow.
I said, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, I got to get it. And so Beerstein had this. I'm like, "Oh,
Nice.
So this wasn't a guess. I knew this was good."
Wow. 8.9% though. It's
I know, you can't
super
tell. So
light
this-
for
so
8.9.
here's
It's
an example.
just what we were talking about, man.
Yeah, if you
I
didn't
would
tell
suck
anybody
this
that
down like the
ABV,
Crux and be in a lot of
you're like,
trouble.
"Oh,
Six.
have a little."
It's a 6%er.
Yeah,
Right?
You
I
think
know
like,
the
yeah,
guessing
six.
game is
Right.
we're so far off in the guessing.
And then you have two like, "I love everyone here."
Well, that goes. I don't need to drink beer to say that, but yes, I get it. I totally understand.
Everybody here's a wonderful human being, no flaws. You're like, "Oh, give me the keys."
Okay, so you were so into wearing your beer swag last time that
Was I supposed to do it?
you wore Keith wore a sweatshirt. It was 80 degrees outside. That was
Because
so
we
funny.
did. I
So-
literally didn't have. I didn't
Okay.
have anything.
But
I
now
don't have enough swag.
I've exhausted. So now I'm on to hats.
Okay.
So this is my favorite. It's Falling
So
Sky.
tell everybody about the hat.
It's Falling Sky. Let It Pour is their logo, and I just love the orange. My husband, if you know my husband, all he wears is orange. He's a disc golfer. He throws orange discs. That's it. He wears orange. Everything's orange.
They're
So
highly visible.
yes,
Yes.
very much so.
Hunters find it so.
Except in the fall.
Yeah.
The leaves are red. He discovered that up here. But then, so I've moved on to hats now. But
I didn't
my-
tell Dennis, so don't blame
Yeah,
Dennis.
that's all
Blame
good.
me.
it's all good.
Was I supposed to wear beer gear?
No, but it was kind of funny last time.
I didn't want to wear beer gear because, I feel like 90% of my wardrobe is Opposition Brewing shirts.
Right.
Still.
Right, still, right.
Nice.
You're like, why would I have anybody else if I'm brewing?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Well, and we did it for 10 years. That's 10 years worth of shirts.
That's
That's
a
a lot
lot.
of shirts.
It's a lot of shirts.
That's
you know
a lot.
What I mean? I didn't get every single one of them, but nearly every single one of them.
Yeah.
I did laundry yesterday, and today I was folding my laundry, and I pull up a pair of my work pants, and I don't know what the hell I did, but I like work pants that have pockets on the side so I can put my clippers and my, because I'm out weeding all the time and digging stuff up. And somehow I had managed to rip the pants
Oh, like cargo
from the
pants.
pocket. Yeah, cargo pants. Yeah, it managed
Extra
to,
pockets.
there's this big old rip halfway. I looked at the pants
You
and
cut You cut it on the edge and just tore it.
Well, somehow, but it was weird because it went all the way around. It was literally, 90. Anyway, so there go a pair of pants. Well, here's the problem.
You still have good pockets.
I have to now go buy pants to go out and work on my farm. To buy the pants that I like, they're not cheap. I can't get them for $10. Which means that after I spend all this money to buy this pair of pants, I'm literally the first time I wear them out, they're going to be stained. They're going to get rid. Oh my God, it's just insane. I hate spending money on pants that I'm just going to ruin. But then I looked back and I thought back. I bought those pants 9 years ago.
Yeah, see, so you're not being wasteful.
So they're not too bad.
That's like going and buying secondhand pants.
Oh,
they're like you're going to paint.
It's just so insane. I hate it. It's like, can someone just start not giving me T-shirts and give me pants instead? But that's a little too weird, right? That's a little too weird.
No, I get made fun of for cargo shorts. I love cargo shorts because you have the extra pockets.
Oh my gosh! And then I wear knee-high boots.
They're purse pants.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So who wants everything in your pockets right on your thighs?
No.
Like, walk around like a Oompa Loompa.
That's a proven fact. If you have a huge wallet and you sit on it all the time,
it's bad for your sciatica,
you're
right?
leaning like this.
Yeah, it's bad for your sciatica.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's bad for your
screw
spine,
you,
for everything. So,
board short haters or cargo short.
Cargo shorts, board shorts, different thing.
Yeah.
So, but
Pocket
yes,
haters.
I have to go buy new work pants, and I just hate spending money on work pants because it's such a pain in the fucking ass.
Secondhand cargo pants.
Yeah, but somebody else wore those pants. I'm
Don't
okay
think
with
of
the
that.
secondhand shirt.
Well, maybe try wearing
Secondhand
underwear
pants
with
are
it.
When you get there and they're $72 or whatever they're going to cost you, divide that by 9.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
how
a
much
good
it costs
deal.
you a year to have those pants. It's a good
know.
deal.
Trust me, you're talking to an accountant. I know
Okay.
ROI nobody's business. I get it. And then I start looking
at everything.
I start looking at everything
that's
else
right.
around here. It's like, oh my gosh. I love the fact that I can look at some things and say, I bought that 30 years ago and I still love it. Still love it.
I don't know. Usually people can't make me feel self-conscious. They still don't. But like when Facebook shows you like, oh, here's you 6 years ago. I'm like, that's still in my closet.
I love it.
I'm like, it hasn't torn apart. I'm like,
oh my gosh, I have this beautiful Nike jacket that I bought, and yeah, I've had it 20 years. So when it showed up and said,
members only.
Here I am at brunch with all my girlfriends after we had gone for a morning run, and I'm wearing that jacket. I'm like, yep, I've had that jacket in my closet, and I still wear it. It's a little tight because
people like, hey, mommy,
what's
stonewashed?
What's low rise?
What I think is funny is the whole mommy pant thing. When I was a kid, anybody who wore mommy pants was a mommy. You didn't want to be that person. You didn't want to have pants like your mom.
No.
So I don't
get that mom act.
Okay. I don't get it.
Right. Well, everything's circling back.
Yeah, but it's circling back in the wrong way.
In totally the wrong way.
I don't want
you got mocked. Oh, it's cool now. Like, it was never cool.
It was never cool.
It was never cool, ever.
Okay. So let me get your opinion on dad bod.
No.
No. You're correct. No, I don't.
It's just an excuse to drink beer. Okay.
It's an excuse to be out of shape.
It's an excuse to drink beer and not work out.
It's like
and then
or as I like to call it, it's dad bod. You mean pre-diabetes? You just say, yes, that's the medical term, pre-diabetes.
So we were outside as the men were pulling up, and I mentioned I go to Oakway, which is a golf course in Eugene twice a week. Well, the reason I go there twice a week is because that's where my gym is. Okay. So it's a private gym, and I'll be going there twice a week for the rest of my life because
you like beer.
I like beer.
Yeah. I don't think it's beer that gives you beer belly, though. I think it's the stuff that you eat with it that gives you.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, you crave salty things like somebody, who's like, hey, we got some beer. You want some wings or pizza with that? People are like, hell yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. Oh, no wings.
Because it goes, well, she doesn't like chicken, but sliders. She eats salad.
I've eaten enough chicken. I've eaten all the chicken I need to eat in my life, and it's tasteless. Well, if you put this sauce on, okay, give me the sauce. I'll eat the sauce. Why do I have to eat the tasteless
If you're
chicken?
eating only the sauce, there are bigger issues.
Well, it's the tastiest
Just give me the
part.
condiment.
It's
Yeah,
really
it's
just a
tasty.
protein source, and the sauce is what makes it palatable.
Yeah, I'm into cottage cheese.
that's
I'll eat
fairly healthy.
cottage cheese as my protein source.
But
Because you know you can do cottage
I
cheese. You can
thought
put salt,
I thought you guys
pepper,
were
garlic
lactose
powder.
intolerant.
no, just
No,
me.
Just you?
He
Oh,
is,
okay.
not
That's
me.
why I
Oh
see
my
those
god!
episodes where I'm taking up the
Why
pills.
did you take 6 of those to eat some ice cream?
No, it's layers. It's layers. There's like ice. Actually, ice cream isn't the worst though. It's literally cream cheese, sour cream, regular milk that's not lactose intolerant, lactose free, which I can get now, so that's usually not a problem. And then ice cream, because like if nobody's around, I'll just ice cream it up and just like who cares? And like I can't fart myself out of the room.
I took.
But you can die. The Darwin Awards. Some guy killed himself.
With farts?
Yes, because so much whatever in the room. Yeah, they awarded him a Darwin Award years ago. That was insane. They also awarded a guy a Darwin Award. You know where out in the it's not Death Valley, but it's somewhere where they race the cars where they
Bonneville Flats.
Bonneville Flats.
Salt Flats, right?
But apparently there's some area where there's cliffs, and a guy strapped a rocket to something, and they know he died because the smudge on the rock had human DNA in it. But they awarded the Darwin Award to that person, not knowing who that person is, because they know it's human DNA, but they don't know who it was.
Somebody who was daring one to
and strapped a jet engine.
They probably could narrow it down now with 23andMe.
Oh, probably.
That's right.
Yeah, go back now, see if it does.
It's 23% finish. But he didn't finish.
98% dumbass.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
He wanted to live and die big, which he
Oh,
did.
so, okay. Keith knows this about me. I'm a big Formula One fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at Bierstein the other day. No, sorry. Bierstein Beer Garden. Once again, same word. Different place. So I was at Beer Garden the other day, and one of the women that worked there had a Charles LeClerc shirt on, and Charles races for Ferrari, and he won Monaco just last week. And he was born and raised in Monaco. So this was his home race. It was the first time he'd won it. Mm-hmm. He'd been on pole 2 times before, didn't win. So anyway, she's walking by. I notice her shirt. I'm like, Monaco! And she puts her hand up and we high-fived. It was the best F1 moment I've ever had. Just 2 random people bonding over Charles.
And nobody else in the
cares. Nobody cares. Nobody, the whole world.
They're into fashion.
Lisa, stop talking about F1. We don't give a shit. But it was a nice moment.
You had your moment. You bonded.
It was all good. Go Charles. Congratulations. Because he's watching this, you know.
I'm sure he's a big fan.
He's a big fan of Friends Drinking Beer.
Well done.
This man with millions of followers on every social media.
Yeah. Like I was watching this obscure American beer podcast. Somebody referenced you.
About me winning my race.
Yeah. Even had your little. It's not jersey. It's like a suit that they have, right?
When they're driving,
yeah.
Oh, those are fireproof suits. Yeah, those are big deals.
They're super hot.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hysterical. They weigh in, they get in their car, they have a whole drinking system, and they drive for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. They get out, they weigh in, so they know exactly how much weight they have. They always lose weight.
Of course, you're in a sweatsuit. You're sweating to death.
Weight. But it's like the jockeys and the horses. You have to, how much weight the horse can handle, and whether they have to add additional weight to handicap them and stuff. But it's just crazy. It's like you're making them weigh in after every single race.
But why after?
They've
I can
lost.
see before. Why after?
Who knows? Cause
you're cheating, but you can't get rid of those.
Oh, and here's another
you
thing
can't
that's
piss out the car going that fast.
And here's another thing. The amount of fuel that goes into an F1 car is the amount of fuel that goes into an F1 car. You run the race, you have to have enough fuel in that car for them to sample it. So you have to have at least X number of milliliters or ounces
So it has to be
in
like
the
eighth of a
engine,
tank.
in the tank for them to pull out and to retest.
Yeah, but there's been people that have gone across the finish line on fumes.
Fumes, right?
Well, not anymore. Because and they have they get, if you cannot provide that sample, you're disqualified.
So do they have like, well, now that they can monitor everything, but you think they'd have like a pit when you're close to finishing? Just
you
to
can't
make
refuel.
Sure.
There's no refueling.
So you're saying that somebody could actually win, but when they do that final pulling it and say like, well, you won the race,
cross the finish line
but you didn't have enough fuel for so number 2 wins?
Right, because that means they ran light.
Oh.
And they, quote, cheated because their car weighed less than everybody else's.
See, that's why I don't watch car racing. Too nitpicky.
Too nitpicky.
Too nitpicky.
It's all about the drama.
Oh, yeah.
It's all, I don't give it. I don't know shit about how the car runs. I don't care about the engineering. I don't care about any of that. Here are 20 kids. Well, Alonzo's 41 years old, so you can't call him a kid anymore. But here are 20. They live in such a rarefied world.
Yeah.
And the insane shit that's going on. Get a load of this. In the Monaco race.
There's no egos there.
Correct.
Oh,
none
whatsoever. In the Monaco race that just happened, before they even finished the first lap, there was a massive accident. So they had to restart, this, that, and the whole, everything else. Then.
Yellow flag.
Red.
Is it red?
Red flag. Oh, yeah. Everybody had to pull into the pits. Because there was debris all over the place. They had to clean up. They had to take the car out. Yeah. Crane the car out, the whole bit. He lost 3 of his 4 wheels. Everything peeled off of the vehicle except for the little part where Checo was sitting. Anyway, later on in the race, this race is famous. Nobody can pass. So it's really, really boring because once it's a street circuit that's this big, the cars are too big, blah, blah, blah. So there's a turn and there's one teammate here. There's another teammate here. The teammate in the back decided, I'm just going to pass my teammate. Guess what happened?
Shaking
blammo. And the teammate that made that move, his car got destroyed. So not really destroyed, but undrivable. Mm-hmm. He was fired yesterday.
Well, yeah, because
they finally let him go. They're like, he is the only driver in F1 that you can do a highlight reel of all of his teammates that he has run into.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that's the worst person to have on your team.
Yeah.
You hit
so they're
everything.
Like, you're just too expensive. We just gotta let you go because you don't follow team. They told him flat out, do not do this, do not do this, do not do this. He did it.
So
and you just wrecked a multi-million-dollar.
Yeah, it's huge.
And apparatus. It's this thing that, oh my gosh, it's so expensive.
So did you ever see that movie? And it was one of those things. I think when my brother's house was like, watch this movie. I'm like, oh, what movie am I watching? And it's
I don't know. You have to tell us.
No, it's about it was a true story. I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this would be pretty cool, but it's unrealistic. But it's a true story where they took video game racers, like the top 3 video game racers, and said like, oh, we're going to try to do this where you guys can actually race. And some old guy going like, this is insane. You have no chance against professional racers. Like, this is a joke. He goes, I'll do it because you're paying me. And, they have to do the qualifiers. And like, okay, they qualify. And like, okay.
The guy who played the retired racer who trained them is the sheriff on Stranger Things.
On Stranger Things, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, this is actually a good movie. I'm into it. And then I realized, and they said, and then after in the credits, they're like, okay, here was the real person. I'm like, oh shit, this really happened.
Yeah, it did.
And I'm like, so they actually did well against professional racers. So then you got like
became a professional.
Yeah, you get the little attitude like, what are you doing here? Like you're making a joke of what is my profession. Like,
but it's still like this visual media, right?
Right.
Their screen is the same thing as looking out your windshield. Yeah. And if you can judge your speed and all that timing and everything, it's all there in your mind already.
Yeah, and they have the hand-eye coordination. But I'm like that's going to be a cool movie. But I'm just like, okay, that is a long shot to go against real racers.
That's not going to work if you play Tiger Woods.
No, it isn't. You can be really good at golf and video games. You're not going to play it.
That doesn't mean you're going to be able to hit the ball.
Yeah, people. I think I could get a $35 million jet because I was on video games. No, we're not going to allow that.
try. You go for it, dude.
I shot down 18 bogeys. I think I got this. I saw Top Gun twice, Maverick 3 times. Let's see what happens.
Not happening. But the number one Formula One driver right now is a young kid named Max Verstappen. And Max has won the world championship 2-3 times. And he's on track this year, but things are finally heating up because he's just blown away the whole field the last 2 years. He prefers iRacing, which is, they're and he has, apparently, I don't know if this is true, and once again, we do not fact check, and we do not check our sources, and we don't do and we don't edit. Apparently, what I have heard on all of my multiple Formula One podcasts I listen to is that he has his iRacing rig on his jet. So he has space on his jet. So when he's flying,
he's simulating.
Can be in the iRacing rig, which is a full simulator. So he feels all the
video game.
And you're talking. Some people buy the iRacing software, but then you buy the steering wheel, and then you buy this, and then you buy the pedals, so that you get more and more of the feel.
But you can't go to famous days.
He did qualifying. He did an iRacing stint for 24 hours of Le Mans, which means he then was racing for 5 or 6 hours or however long his stint was. And then the next morning he raced in real life. So he real life qualified, I raced, and then real life. When does the dude sleep? Nobody
doesn't.
Really
he's
knows.
probably doing this in his sleep.
Nobody really knows when he sleeps. I know, he's so young. It's like, oh, dude, you're going to crash and burn at some point. But
and he'll enjoy it.
I remember one time I was watching, this is probably a long time ago, the 90s or whatever. I'm watching ESPN, and they had the 24 hours of Le Mans, and there was like a 3-second difference between the winner and second place. After 24 hours of racing, they're that close still. You're just like, how?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It is
They're in it.
So nuts. Well, in Formula One now, the cars are so good that in qualifying, you qualify at X time, and it's, they do 3 rounds. And so 5 guys drop off the first round, 5 guys drop off. So that only top 10 drivers are driving on the 3rd round for, position 1 through 10. The difference in their time is less than a half a second.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Tight. It's so insane. Yeah, they're into the hundredths and thousandths of a second. It's nuts. So, I love it.
I can tell.
The kids they're insane. They're just crazy. But they drive 200 miles an hour around these curvy little twisty streets.
And see that I think has more skill than like NASCAR. I know. I think it does.
NASCAR fans, do not email me. Email him.
No, I think it does because they have to do curves and straightaways. And
I know,
like
but
that.
apparently
it's not just
turning
Hicks
left
going
is a
left.
thing. Apparently, turning left is a thing.
I'm just saying.
I definitely like putts that break to the left better than putts that break to the right.
You and me both.
All right.
Disc golf.
But you're left-handed. You should probably like the ones that are going from left to right.
Are you left-handed?
No, I play left-handed.
Oh my God. Okay, answer his question, and then I'll talk about left-handed, right-handed.
You just got excited.
I know.
Well, no,
something
but
really cool to tell you.
So for me, it would be right to left.
Mm-hmm. No, left to right. See, I'm right-handed. I want to see a right to left putt.
Left to right, I don't have a problem with. It's the right to left. It's like it's tough for me. I'll miss on the high side, which I suppose good side to do it, but it's tough for me. I'm weird. I'm
right-handed, but I throw a frisbee left-handed.
My husband has been playing disc golf for over 10 years, and our friends who live on the property with us are professional disc golfers, and we have a 27-hole disc golf course here.
27.
Well, because we have the short course, the long course, and the alt course.
Different tee boxes.
Not always, no, but different baskets and things like that. Anyway, I have never in my life thrown a disc ever, and we were waiting for a bunch of people to come up and play the other day, and Brent said, please, honey, play catch with me, which means you're just throwing the disc back and forth. So finally I said, okay, fine. Well, he threw it. I either caught it or didn't catch it, can't remember. And I threw it back. I threw it back left-handed.
Do you think you were weird?
No, he didn't even notice.
But you did.
So I did, which is not surprising because mom's mom, left-handed, sign of the devil, tied to her side, forced to learn to write right-handed. So it's and it's inherited. My niece is left-handed and the whole bit. So I have been, when I was running track and field, I was opposite everybody else because my push-off foot was different. So I throw it back to him left-handed. And I realized, oh, wow, that's weird, but kind of cool. So then we were playing catch, and I threw both. So I can throw a disc with both hands. And then today was the first day that I, quote, teed off and did a drive. And it was a terrible drive. Zoe, you were really sweet and very nice, but it was a terrible drive because it was my first one, right?
Yeah, right.
But I threw it left-handed. So... And
are you sure you're not ambidextrous?
I am, but I have to practice. I have to do both. I have to exercise both sides to make sure that I'm equal on both. But if I had thrown a disc 10 years ago and learned that, I could be a much better disc golf player because I could throw left or right.
We should try doing it both
which way you want the disc to go towards the basket. So,
like who we have playing today? Is it Lisa or is it the stranger? See, that's what you got to do. You got to practice.
Who knows? I'm gonna show up on the tee pad with, red on one side, blue on the other.
So, in disc golf, is it a fade and a hook, just like it is in golf?
I've heard
they call it a hyzer and an anhyzer. Yeah,
a hyzer and an anhyzer.
So it's the way you arc it to the right.
Dennis is like, really? That's what you call it?
That's funny, but
yeah. That's it. So
no. So if you ever talk and people are like, okay, you play golf all the time. Do you play disc golf? No, because I could be playing real golf. So I don't.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like,
no,
I know, but I'm like,
people ask me if I fish. I'm like, no, I'm a golfer.
Right.
But I can tell
why would
you
I do
only
that?
have one.
But you can get up really early, like golf.
Do you want bowls or do you want clubs? Okay, I want clubs.
Right, but if you talk to the disc golf people, they literally have like a driver.
A mid-range,
and then a putter.
Yeah. Well, and that's been a lot of discussion is how, at one point they were doing
set up
something.
Your bag.
Yeah,
absolutely. Your bag. Well, and they were also, how much do we follow, they call it ball golf, how much do we follow ball golf rules and regulations and realizing we don't have to.
Yeah, you don't.
So they did alter
ball
some
golf
things and
who
change
have no
some
ethics.
things.
Just go out there and have fun.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Have fun. What are you just talking shit?
No,
I'm not hearing because I'm trying to pay attention to our guests.
You should pay attention. He knows things. Well, we had a little putting thing inside the what bar we were at? We were like out in the boonies. McShane's, yeah.
McShane's.
So Zoe set up there doing a fundraiser.
Yeah, and they do putting league out there during not during the summer because everyone's touring and busy with disc golf events. But yeah, if they're in town, especially during the winter, they run putting league Monday night at McShane's. Mm-hmm. And they'd set up a little course.
Obstacle course.
And you have to putt through all of them. And then if you make all your putts and then you hit the ninth basket with a specific disc that they set out for you, then you win the pot. And the pot can get pretty expensive. It's hundreds of dollars sometimes. So yeah.
Nice.
You gotta be good at putting.
That's fun.
Yeah. When they start McShane's, when they start putting league back up, we should probably go do a friends drinking beer McShane's with hear the clink of the chains in the background.
That's right.
Everybody walking behind us. Yeah, it'll be so exciting.
We're at a putting event.
Guess what? We're also at. We're at over an hour.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't realize it.
It did. Yeah,
my beer's gone.
My beer's gone.
I know beer.
We're out of beer.
We have no beer, so the choice is: do we open another beer or do we cease recording?
Don't call it. They're going to stop watching. People like, do you see the episode? Once they started talking about like putting in NASCAR, I turned it off.
Yeah.
And they were finished with their beer.
Oh my God! They didn't open a beer for 20 minutes, so we had to stop watching.
It's yak. Talk to us about the beer.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh,
thanks for coming here, Dennis.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
You.
Enjoyed the beers. Those are good selections. I would probably never purchase those myself.
Right?
Well, if I got one for you, I'd share it with you.
No, I'm just like I don't buy that many. I taste sours a lot, like at Beer Stein. I always like to taste stuff, but I don't buy very many of them.
Well, what about Belgians?
No.
Not Belgians?
No,
well, now I want to see your beer fridge.
Yeah, that was a good Belgian.
What's in my beer fridge is Crux Pilz and King Crispy and Freen Pills and.
I like Freen Pills.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah.
All right. It's pretty basic, man. It really is. Pretty basic.
You don't have anything hiding in the back?
No, I don't.
Now I'm going to come to your place. I'm going to hide something in the back. What the hell is this?
Where did this come from?
I don't even know what this is.
All right. Well, I'm Lisa.
I'm Keith.
We do know what this is. And we're friends drinking beer. Thank you. Bye.